So my view is it's going to be improvement because whenever you have problem with staffing, you don't have the quality. You can't have because you can't choose the right person. We are sometimes having lots of funny discussion with other hoteliers that we are taking anyone who just showed up at interview if he really comes. So this is real life.
Yeah.
And then the quality, doesn't matter if it's UK, US or Europe, the quality of communication is not good enough. Hospitality. So at the end, the AI communication would definitely help with the quality of service and with guest experience. And yeah, it will be just common part of the hotel or hospitality.
We're going through something absolutely historic.
Technologies across the board are growing exponentially.
It's a disruption that's going to completely redefine the way businesses compete.
In the next decade, we're going to lose 40% of today's Fortune 500 companies.
The exponential growth of computing is continuing.
AI is nowhere near its full potential.
Whether you like it or not, that the future cannot be stopped by anyone.
Welcome back to the Future Tech and Foresight podcast. I'm your AI host, Marc Verbenkoff's deepfake avatar, and this is episode number 226. The hospitality industry has faced unprecedented staffing challenges in recent years, leaving hotels struggling to deliver consistent service while controlling costs. AI and robotics are emerging as innovative solutions, enabling hotels to automate routine tasks and streamline guest interactions without replacing human staff entirely. This episode delves into the development and implementation of AI-powered receptionists and humanoid avatars, highlighting systems capable of handling multi-channel communication across platforms such as WhatsApp, email, and phone calls. From AI agents like Baya to holographic avatars like Bea and robots like Bo, hotels can now offer instant responses, personalized service, and real-time guest feedback while freeing human staff for higher-level interactions. Looking ahead, Filip and Marc discuss how AI and robotics may become standard across hotels within the next 5 years, helping smaller properties overcome staffing shortages while maintaining service quality. As technology continues to advance, the combination of virtual assistants, avatars, and humanoid robots promises a future where operational efficiency and human creativity coexist seamlessly. Now, a little bit about the guest. Filip Linek is the founder and CEO of Prague-based FLA Robotics, aiming to transform hotel front offices with BEA, a cutting-edge operating system designed to address labor shortages and rising costs. He has built a 24/7 AI-powered virtual assistant capable of managing bookings, guest requests, and communications in more than 100 languages across multiple channels including WhatsApp, email, and voice. His work integrates AI avatars and humanoid robots to complement human staff while improving operational efficiency. Through his work, Filip continues to redefine hospitality by blending technology, service, and human interaction.
Perfect. Well, Filip, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. You're doing something pretty interesting, so I'm curious to hear about your story and about the work that you're doing. But thanks for taking the time to join me and talking about your work.
Thanks for the invitation. It's amazing to be here.
Yeah. So, before we dive into what you're doing, could you let me and the audience know a little bit about how you initially got involved in, AI and technology, before we dive into everything?
Oh, well, a bit by chance because I bought 2 hotels in 2019. So I'm hotelier actually, after having quite a large business, which I sold to British Bunzl in 2014. So I all the time was telling I never would like to have the hotels, restaurants, wellness, all these hospitality stuff. However, I have 2 of them, each ones, and I have also laundry, etc. However, that's why Bear was created because I realized leading 45 people in hotel is much tougher than leading thousands of people for British Bunzl. So I realized in 2022, when the ChatGPT and OpenAI was a bit phenomenon, that it might be advantage to combine AI and, of course, humans with a perfect cooperation.
Interesting. So was there like a specific moment, like you started using ChatGPT and then you realized like, oh shoot, this could solve or I don't know if we want to use the term replace, but it can certainly do a number of tasks that are already being done in the business, or was it just kind of like a slow realization after some time of like, oh, this is powerful and we need to start implementing AI?
Actually, it's the same in my hotels as over the Western world. The hospitality has a crisis of staffing, and it's very hard to hire quality employees. It started with COVID when 20% of the employees just left and only half just returned. But it's also about the demography and, of course, the growth of hospitality, because hospitality is growing double digit in general HDP. It's 5.5% every year after the COVID. So yes, the last trigger point was on interview when candidate for receptionist asked me for a home office, which is of course impossible to fulfill. So I first realized that this is going to be a problem, and I hoped I will buy Receptionist whenever the ChatGPT AI start as a phenomenon in 2022, 2023. So I called all around the world, and I didn't find any company which could provide me any assistant or the receptionist just to help them with the routine task, etc. And I found that there is a lots of apps, ads-on apps, because there are two basic systems, which are PMS, property management system, and booking engines. It's a two system. Most of those are using them, and lots of ads-on apps, which are very fragmented and just a bit helping with full guest journey, which is communication with the guest. So I just decided I will create perfect receptionist, and that is what I'm doing now.
That's very cool. So ChatGPT has been around, I think, just a little over 3 years now, right?
Yes.
Roughly. So obviously it has grown leaps and bounds, and the entire like generative AI space has been exploding over the last couple of years. When you started developing your own tool, have you how do I frame this? Have you found that because the speed of advancement has happened so quickly that you were starting to build something and then you had to change it or iterate it multiple times because of the new developments that were out there?
Yes, we are changing our roadmap maybe 2-3 times a month regularly, all the years, of course, because we don't want to develop anything which is already developed. So we are using Microsoft Azure as a platform, ChatGPT. We are also using the Twilio 11 Labs, etc. However, we have lots of our own cutting edge technologies regarding the speech to text, recognizing anyone who's coming at the reception, etc. So yeah, it's combining, and the roadmap is changing every month.
No, very interesting. And you don't see any slowdown with that, right? It's going to continually change and maybe even change faster as time goes on.
Yes, however, we already spent roughly 1,000 man days, maybe 5,000 man days on Bear, and it's a real agentic system. It's not just wrapping AI. You have to very well integrate the systems, especially the PMS and booking engine, as already mentioned in the past. So on one hand, it is about the AI. However, maybe 70% of technology is not about the AI, and you have to code it. You have to do your best to cover at least 85% of all receptionist work, which is not easy. And my co-founder and colleague, Lukáš Koros, who is responsible for tech, he is CTO. I'm the CEO and I'm the visionary. However, I'm not the right tech guy. So when I hired him maybe a year ago, he promised me he will create Bear in a few months. And finally, he realized it's much more harder.
Yeah.
Even if he did this work for globally in McKinsey last, maybe 7 years, doing the similar SaaS system. So it's quite a complicated system.
Could you maybe paint a little bit of a tangible picture for us? So you say like an AI receptionist. Does this mean when somebody comes into the hotel, there's no human there and they interact with a screen? Is it going to be some, robot that you then talk to a screen, but you're kind of talking to her? Like, what's the actual vision, like the picture of what you're envisioning here?
It's probably will be combination. In most of the hotels, there will be human receptionists, and there will be also the holoboxes with the 3D avatars of Bear, or there will be, of course, in the future also the humanoids. But at the moment, Bear is communicating through the channels like the WhatsApp, email, and answering the calls via phone. So yeah, it's a full communication with the guests, and the amazing advantages is of course 100 languages plus, and also very fast responses, which leads to making reservations.
Mm.
So it's very nice to see the reaction of the people whenever you send an email to the hotel and you will receive an offer in 1 minute in a perfect quality. Just is asking which one I should book. So yeah, it's improving guest experience definitely.
Right, right. So what kind, like, obviously you're asking for feedback from some of your guests. Obviously not everybody's giving you feedback, but from those that are, is it like such a novel thing and they're excited and they enjoy the novelty of it, or is it actually improving, their stay and the reservations and like is it much smoother for them? I'm assuming as well.
It has to be improving their
Yeah.
stay. For example, whenever they come to my hotels or several other hotels, mainly in Czech Republic at the moment. However, our main market is UK. Whenever you come to these hotels where Bear is already working, you are connected with Bear through the WhatsApp. So you have Bear in your pocket all the time you're staying in hotels. So you never visit reception, for example. You can just send the message whenever you'd like. It doesn't matter if you are laying in the bed in the room or if you are somewhere traveling and asking for make some reservations. So we decrease by this feature, for example, by 85% face-to-face communication at reception, real communication, and it's amazing advantage for our guests. So one part is of course just fast responses. Doesn't matter if you are sending a message in 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever in the afternoon Sunday, you will get the response immediately, and you will get the perfect quality of the response, which is not only about uh, the quality of information, but it's also the tone of voice. Bea is all the time polite. She is communicating any languages. So it's amazing experience. So my feedback actually from Bea Virtual, which is first tier, and it's a text communication, is amazing. We just launched the voice, which is voice bot, and probably no one of us like voice bots. We'd like to avoid them as we can. So we are improving a lot the voice bot, and you can interrupt whenever you are speaking with a via phone, and it's still better and better, and it will be almost human communication through the phone. However, there is a main advantage for the hoteliers, because hoteliers struggling with answering the calls whenever the reception has check-in, check-out, or just some other work. They can't answer the phone, and they are just losing revenue.
Right.
So it's very important that Bear will answer phone all the time, and you have all communication transcript in the Bear front end, so you can then use the data for improving your service.
Very interesting. I have a couple of questions from that. So you said Bea is reducing 85% of human interactions. You also said that, if I understood you correctly, there are still receptionists there at the front desk. So is this receptionist just dealing with the more critical things that Bea has some challenges with, and significantly less human interaction, I assume, as well? How's that functioning?
Yes, as you are telling. So they try to solve escalation situation, for example, escalated situation, or they are really take care about the high level service for the guests. And of course, they can do more work, some other work for the hotel. Doesn't matter if it's events or helping with some admin, restaurants, whatever. So Yeah, it's improving. The key advantage is they are not watching the computers because most of the work is done by Bear, so they can focus on the guests or about any problem solution.
Yeah. So obviously I've had many guests on over the years talking about not this, but like similar AI implementation. There's always challenges, right? Whether it's actually implementing it or building it or in certain responses in your case, has there been any specific vertical where there's more challenges than others? Is it like understanding guests or not understanding a certain type of response? Like where have you been experiencing the most amount of challenges?
Regarding the voice and text, it's probably speech to text. It's the most challenging thing because you probably use your ChatGPT or Claude, Gemini, whatever, and you know that there is a mistakes regarding the transcript. So we are working on this with lots of universities, mainly in Czech Republic, and we have our own vocabulary. We have very low word error rating because we have to avoid any mistake. For example, if Bea need email for confirmation of the reservation because Bea is an agent and she's doing the reservation, she's changing the reservation, and she's sending the confirmation, so she can't do the mistake. So this is one of the challenge, speech to text. The second one, and of course, sometimes is integrations because some of the systems are not having perfect APIs for us to get all the information perfectly and correct. And one of the main challenges is, of course, avatar. Whenever avatar will be present at reception, we have to communicate as a human. So we have to recognize someone is going. We have to know that there is more people. So there are different lengths of the microphones, dividing, for example, the group for one and until 5 person. With each one, there is just keeping the context. So there are lots of challenges which we already solved or which we are solving now and will be solved until June, whenever Avatar will be launched.
Very interesting. You said a holographic avatar. Is that the goal?
Yes. The bear will be human-sized holobox.
Okay.
Will be 3D because it's in hospitality, so it has to be felt like something special, and so probably there will be some hotels 2-3 stars using the displays, but most of them will use the holobox. It's just another screen, but a 3D looking very good.
Very interesting. And maybe a bit of a goofy question, but will you be customizing the Bea avatar to, like, I don't know, dress up for Christmas or something like that? Like, can you do all these different things or is it just going to be one standard avatar forever?
We try to avoid this.
Yeah.
However, we will have to probably definitely also according the culture of the market, etc. But we are not using AI avatar. We are using real rendering, which is very, costly and time spending solution, but much more reliable and just better solution definitely at the moment.
Okay, very interesting. So I started this podcast. The first 100 episodes were all about technological unemployment and people losing jobs and whether tech is going to, da-da-da. So this is obviously a big part of the conversation whenever it comes to implementing AI or adopting AI into companies. You started off by saying that there's a large labor shortage in your industry. How are your employees considering Bea, thinking about the future? Are there concerns? Is it excitement? Is it, oh, this is great, now I can focus on other things within the business? Or is it like, oh shoot, Bea is coming for my job later on? What's kind of the mindset of the employees?
Actually, they were concerned, and I was a little bit afraid of implementation, how it works. However, at the moment, Bea is a perfect colleague, and they can rely on that, on her. And actually, she's the heart of my hotels. She knows everything. You can see all the communication, all multi-channel communication on one place. Bell is perfect in providing any information. For example, in my hotels, we have a rule that whenever the guest has a birthday, then we are preparing little cake with candle for the breakfast, and Bell never forgets to send this information to the restaurant one day before.
Right.
So actually they already got used. They are I would tell very happy, and probably there will be some positions which will be disappearing and which will be changing.
Mm-hmm.
However, they are just at the moment the reception are just doing higher level work, which is good for them because actually they didn't want to repeating 50 times the same question to any guests or
Of course.
doing the repetitive work, which is just boring.
One thing that I'm seeing with a lot of businesses that are starting to be the avant-garde in adopting AI tools and well, maybe not avatars, but certain AI tools in general, is that there's a bit of curiosity from potential clients or customers about how this specific AI tool is functioning within the company. And that I think has been drawing interest to become a client or a customer. Are you seeing that as well? Like you've obviously done the kind of a marketing campaign to say like, hey, Bea is in our hotels now. Are you seeing your clientele come in specifically for Bea at some points, or is it just like, oh, now I've heard that it's convenient, it's easier, and I'm coming here? Is there like any kind of data that you have on that, or just a general sense?
Well, actually, it's combination. There are definitely hoteliers, like old school hoteliers, which they can't imagine that this is going to be the main channel, the main guest journey, main communication channel for their hotels. But most of them, whenever they just see the demos, how well it works, they are just nicely surprised. They like to be part of it because they can rely on it, and we have lots of possibilities how they can use it. They can use it at the beginning, like Bear is creating all the answers, and they all the time have to check it and send it, or they can switch to automate, and they can divide it different intentions. So actually, we have very nice feedback. Some of them just react on the marketing, and I'm quite often at the stages and talking to hoteliers or decision makers in hotels, and some of them are in our pipeline. So we trying to ask them for the demo meeting. However, the results are 30% of demos are signing contracts. So it's amazing, and Bear is helping, and the feedbacks of the hotels where Bear already working is even much better. So yeah, it's this definitely will be solution of the future, because we start 3 years ago. We were very early. However, a lot of other companies are trying to do similar things, maybe not too far as an avatar, but also the communication hubs through the email, WhatsApp, etc. Because we are, we are losing the traffic. Our websites are losing the traffic, so the regular chatbots are just losing sense in the future. So most of the company are switching for full guest journey communication, which is necessary. And actually, it's a hope for hospitality because the quality of the communication is poor, and we have chance to return back the quality of hospitality where it should be.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Maybe looking towards the future here a little bit. Again, one of the things that I've noticed is with all these, interesting AI tools, it's a novelty, right? It's new. People are maybe attracted to it because it's new, it's something different. How long do you think it becomes ubiquitous and it becomes a normal background thing that, many hotels just have an AI receptionist, and what will be the novel thing is the human receptionist in the future? And then obviously, what'll happen to the industry once that happens?
I would tell it's going to be very fast. There was one key reason. And at the moment, there are people missing or staff missing in hotels. Average western part of the world, 1 million people all the time missing in hotels. And we have to realize that the hospitality is growing. So we will need maybe 30-40% more people in hospitality than we need today. So we will miss them. So we have to find solution how to combine AI with the humans. We won't be able to help with waiters, cooks, with whatever housekeeping. However, the receptionist is a repetitive work. So you have maybe 2 or 3 chances. First one is to just using kiosks. However, this is very similar like self checkouts at supermarkets. It's not about the hospitality, and it's of course very unreliable because you have lots of OTAs, and most of the kiosk just cannot, process all the reservation bookings, etc. So I would tell that maybe in 5 years there will be 20, maybe 30% of the hotels will use the automated communication with the guests, because it doesn't matter if it's voice or text, but it definitely will be necessity for them. And regarding the avatar, I hope this is also future, because it's going to be very hard to employ anyone for whatever weekends. Most of the people are visiting hotels during the weekends, and we need people for weekends, for nights, long short shifts. It's just hard to find anyone who'd like to do that. So yeah, there will be few people at reception, but lots of holoboxes or avatars, or maybe in humanoids in the future. And actually, it's a perfect use case, because we don't need too much batteries at reception. You don't have to walk, so the humanoids will be perfect as a receptionist.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's the real next step. It's once you get humanoids, and then maybe staff will be a little bit more concerned, because, well, I don't know how good a humanoid would be as a cook, but there's maybe certain things that these humanoid robots can do at an early phase that might risk having some people being replaced.
Yeah, but that will be creating new position. There definitely have to be someone who has to take care, and maybe it's going to be work which is much better for the people than just doing whatever. Being cook is not easy also.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, maybe a point on that, and I think this is something that you've said a couple times, but also I've heard in many, many different other industries through this podcast, is that, there's a labor shortage, and it's a growing labor shortage. And not only that, it's there's no end in sight for it, right? It's not like new people are coming in waves into these positions that you need. And as the businesses grow, as the hotels increase, then you need maybe AI, you need humanoid robots in order to just manage these things and keep them open, essentially.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, you're right.
Super interesting. Maybe a bit more of a philosophical question here, and I think we touched on it briefly. How do you think, like, the bad term, but the essence of hospitality is changing with the implementation of AI and then these humanoid robots? Like, is there some fundamental aspect that is going to be missed when there aren't human receptionists and humans in the hotels, or is it actually better because you're getting a superior service? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Have you heard feedback from people? Just curious about that.
I would tell that there still will be hotels like we know now. For example, 5-star luxury hotels will probably use as a just communication channel through the the text and voice. However, they will still keep the employees at reception, the human touch, etc. However, most of them wouldn't be able to afford these employees. For example, in Denmark, the hour wages for receptionists is 60 euros per hour, which is almost critical figures. And so my view is it's going to be improvement, because whenever you have a problem with staffing, you don't have the quality. You can't have, because there's you can't choose the right person. We are sometimes having lots of funny discussion with other hoteliers that we are taking anyone who just showed up at interview if he really comes. So this is real life.
Yeah.
And then the quality, doesn't matter if it's UK, US, or Europe, the quality of communication is not good enough at hospitality. So at the end, the AI communication would definitely help with the quality of service and with guest experience. And yeah, it will be just common part of the hotel or hospitality. So you will definitely meet the door guy, you will definitely meet the waiters, you will meet lots of people at hotels. However, the communication will be through the AI. It's only one solution, I would tell.
What about the I was gonna say the process of dealing with Bea, right? So you said that it's mostly through WhatsApp. You can already talk to your receptionist before you come to the hotel, and it's instant responding. What is how should I say this? Is the process of, say, checking in and dealing with everything that you would with a normal hotel, is it significantly faster for clients compared to using a human? Obviously, you're getting instant responses, but like, do you already know exactly where your keys are? And like, I'm just trying to think about the actual physical process of going into a hotel and checking in. Like, is there 30% time savings? What kind of experience is there for people?
It will be definitely faster from two reasons. One is, of course, any manual, inputs in the systems from human receptionists, it's just taking a long time. And the second reason is Bear, during the communication with the guest, can prepare lots of things before arrival, and then the check-in could be just a few seconds or maybe just minutes. And yeah, it will be much more faster. And but it's not just about the check-in, check-outs. It's really about the pre-stay communication, even the post-stay communication. So you just have the Bear in your pocket all the time, whenever you'd like. So this will be definitely faster service in lots of ways.
Right. Interesting. Well, Phil, I don't know if I have. Well, how about this? Should I ask you something that I haven't asked you already? Because I think it's fascinating, but I think that the labor issue and kind of the future issue are kind of the two main things on my mind. So have I not asked you something that I should have?
Quite important was how the Bear will look like whenever she becomes humanoid. And, there are lots of scaries humanoids, and we very, very patiently realizing that it has to be something which will be shown as a robot. So we very carefully read all analysis. For example, the people are scaring of the human hands whenever it's robot. So some part of Bear is just robotic, and it's very important for people to accept a communication with avatar or with the robots. So it's not about the technology, but it's about the visual feelings for the people. And hospitality is very important.
Right.
You have to feel safe, and you have to feel there is, no bad situation, no bad feelings.
Will there still need to be a desk in between clients and the humanoid or the avatar? Yeah.
We'd like to keep the desk. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense because we'd like to keep the old school receptionists, and it looks amazing. Whenever old reception and there is holobox, whatever in wood on any equipment, 3D avatar staying in human size, it looks perfect. And yeah, and another advantage is, of course, that you don't need any technological skills. You just need a voice, so you can communicate with her very easily. You don't need any chaos, whatever solution, trying to find any number of reservation, etc. She just communicate as a human.
So interesting. You said that you were one of the earlier hotels to implement this. Obviously, some have come after you. I'm having a faint memory of some Japanese hotel like a decade ago or something like that, but it was all with robots, and like you had dinosaur robots and you had like all these sorts of weird robots, but the claim was that it was fully automated. Obviously you've looked into that case, if my memory is I'm not hallucinating here. How different is that, and did you take any lessons from that hotel to yours?
Actually, we start in a different way. We start building the technology. We have several layers of the knowledge base of the bear and integrating with all systems, of course. So we're starting with AI technology and finishing with the avatar, or at the end, humanoid, which we definitely we wouldn't create ourselves. We will buy from some of the companies they are creating, of course, customized for us. However, 10 years ago, the Japanese hotel just, installed the whatever robots at reception with no software. There was no AI, so it was just Q&A. So there was a problem why it didn't work. It was a different situation than we have now. I don't know which technology they use, software technology. However, in that time, there was some Watsons from IBM, whatever, but it wasn't real AI. So it was only a very bad concierge Q&A, and that's why it just finished as it starts, because it wasn't able to replace, maybe even 10% of the receptionist work, which doesn't make sense. So we are starting from different point. We are starting from the technology which works, and AI doesn't matter if it's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and the BEA is modular, so we can switch of any LLM model if we need. However, we are based on Microsoft Azure at the moment, which is our partner, and Microsoft also selling the BEA. Actually, we are on their marketplace to their customers, but it's just different story. We have an advantage. We have amazing technology. They didn't.
Yeah. That's true. Awesome. Well, Filip, I think that's maybe a really good place to end the conversation here. Are there any places that like your website or your social media that you would like people to check out if they're more interested to follow and see what else is going to happen, obviously in the future as well?
Yes, please visit our website, which is b-a.ai, AI, and that is all about our product. And and you can also check my LinkedIn. So there are lots of information and lots of news. So that's it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, Filip. Very interesting. Maybe I'll have to have you back on the podcast, in a year or so, once the avatar is set up, and maybe once you get a couple of those humanoid robots in when they're ready.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for listening to this week's Future Tech and Foresight podcast. If you like what you've heard here, there are, of course, a number of ways that you can support the podcast. The best way would be to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or give a rating on Spotify, which you can find a step-by-step explanation for on the futuretechandforesight.com website. Alternatively, feel free to leave a comment either on the episode show notes or the YouTube channel where you can see video recordings of the interviews. And finally, if you are part of an organization that is aware of the disruptive and transformational impact that emerging and future technologies will bring and want to know more, please get in touch to hear about the strategic foresight services that we offer and how we can help future-proof your organization and take advantage of the phenomenal opportunities available to survive and thrive in the future.
A lot of future-shocked people and future-shocked institutions in our society are simply overwhelmed.
Once there is superintelligence, The fate of humanity may depend on what the superintelligence does.
Science fact is catching up to science fiction.
The first truly intelligent machine will be the last invention that humanity needs to make.
The only scarcity that will exist in the future is that which we decide to create ourselves as humans.
Within a 10-year design revolution, we can have all humanity living the highest standard of living anybody's ever known.
Progress is accelerating at an exponential pace, and it's going to reach a point where progress is so fast it's going to be a singularity.
We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens.
Every single headline points to the birth pangs of a Type 1 civilization.